Thank you very much, Kyle. We are indeed live into the first map of our first three of the day. Nemiga on the P side, we have to find McGregor over on the A side of the map. JR holding the line in the smoke, trying to capture with the USP, but his teammates are being overwhelmed. MDS comes in with the first kill, and now they're actually going to be trading positions in the smoke. It's a bit of an awkward confrontation, but still goes the way of Nemiga, and they're looking to really grasp a hold of this map as soon as possible. Another one tap comes into play, and only problem remains 1v5. They know where he is. He's living on borrowed time. He's going to at least get the one kill before he drops, but the outcome was inevitable, and the T's will break their deadlock.
Yeah, really good job there by Nemiga here on their map pick. Certainly favorites on Mirage. It's probably one of the best maps for them so far online this year, where it has been a bit dodgy for HellRaisers, which really could just be said for the entire map pool. HellRaisers, since coming together in like late April, early May, have really struggled so far to find results, whereas Nemiga have been doing pretty well for themselves. And so far, a couple of our players, Lollipop and Box, have been some of the top performers in the tournament thus far. I think ranked number 2 and 3 respectively. So definitely been seeing them popping off. And the last time these two teams met on Mirage, Nemiga did win the game very one-sided fashion. So just a little bit of history there for you on the track record of both of these teams, as we see Nemiga on the anti-eco just barreling into the A-bomb site. So far they have taken a few casualties, but they are starting to get some control and stabilizing, and now they've found the key kill they needed to feel safe about this bomb plant. Less problem can sneak in. There's one, but wasn't quite aware of the one behind him there. So Nemiga will go ahead and find that second round with, I mean, there was a little bit of trouble there, but it seemed like they were in control most of it.
There are a couple of blips, a couple of speed bumps, but ultimately that force buy was navigated past pretty comfortably in the end, and now they're going to have a buy that we can pretty much build up their economy again. I don't expect to see HellRaisers go for too much. Only a P250 really picked up for Kalinka. Everyone else USPs.
Yeah, really just keep eyes on Nemiga and Box. They were, you know, leading in rating and damage per round yesterday in the 5 maps that they played. Though normally I would say Speed 4K is kind of the other really big name on Nemiga next to Lollipop. Normally going to be their Opper. So that is definitely the two names I'm going to be looking at Nemiga today to be putting up the numbers and having the impact. And as Ades said, you know, JR is obviously the one guy that you're really looking to for at HellRaisers. He definitely has been one of the top performers in the tournament in his own right. Doing really, really well, actually. And just need to see some of the other guys step up a little bit, particularly Fleric. I feel like in the past he's been a big performer, so if he can kind of be that supporting cast to JR, that might give HellRaisers a chance to challenge Nemiga a little bit as we kind of just get through what is a pure eco. And Nemiga is mopping it up pretty quickly, as you'd expect. Bomb is going to be going down into the bomb site. And that should be the third round ticking any moment now, Vince.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Fleric is in middle with the P250, can maybe carve some heads out, but it's going to do the one kill towards the end of the round, and honestly, that's pretty solid for HellRaisers. I mean, they had 4 USPs, a P250, they got 3 kills. So, sure, Nemiga will be able to replenish those guns, but it does put HellRaisers into pretty good shape if they can take them down here in this round.
Absolutely. One thing I can say about Fleric is he is leading the tournament in clutches, so he has been able to pull off some late round situations at times for his team, so we'll keep a lookout on that. So we are going to see Nemiga playing a fairly default opening, though they do have a little bit of extra presence towards the A side of the map. That's not the classic 1-3-1, and there's no B apartments presence. JO is really more focused on underpass for now. But as I say that, they're kind of just settling back. But with the bomb being outside of A like this, it does say that's where they want to eventually end things, but it's going to be about the exchanges they find on the way. And that's a big pick up there to catch Kalinka on the underpass aggression. Going to give them a very quick 5 versus 4. That bomb actually now pivoting over towards the B side of the map after collecting that frag. They feel pretty comfortable that B is going to be a soft target, and they're absolutely correct. It's all going to come down to the timing of the rotation of JR's AWP, which currently is in middle, and JM, who is not too far behind him.
Really good start on Nemiga as they look to start to press towards the B side. JO taking point, grenade out, and JR does connect the dots. 45 seconds, and Molotov is going to isolate and segregate the two aspects of this T push, and now it's going to dwindle. They can start to move together. They do have time to potentially pull the plug and rotate back over onto middle, and that's pretty much what they're going for. 30 seconds will afford them the opportunity to push through connector, but the problem is they don't have anyone to pivot off. They have no intel on A. They have no one there to really work from. And now HellRaisers realize with the Molotov onto window coming down exactly what is on the horizon, they're moving into position to thwart this plant. They can't stop it outright. And Speedak with a big kill onto Jalaim into the CT side is really going to make this that much more difficult from HellRaisers. I honestly thought they had this in the bag when that rotation came in, but since then it's been one-way traffic. Flarich waiting in the smoke with one. There's the double spray. And now Speedak 1 versus 3. He's going to have to live up to that 4K if he's going to clutch it. It's not going to be happening. Nemiga have fallen and HellRaisers successfully retake.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it started off nice for Nemiga. I mean, I think that they did a good job because Lollipop always had control of Catwalk, that they kind of understood what the rotations were going to be like towards window and towards the B side of the map. And they just knew that all they needed to worry about was just blocking off CT spawn and smoking themselves off and planning for connector, which they had control of, as well as they had control of jungle at the time. And the only real risk was there might have been someone Palace or A-ramp or under balcony that could have shut them down. They actually even got the first kill on CT spawn as they planted the bomb, so it looked like things were actually shaping up nicely for them. But then HellRaisers just flipped the switch and were able to kind of gather their remaining forces and really pulled off a solid retake there. Very clean retake. Now they have a double op play in place while Nemiga is struggling for resources. They tried to go for a gimmicky window boost, but JR was too wise to that. The rest trying to spill into A, but being cut off at the pass.
Well, at least getting some pistol kills as JR drops the bomb down, and now Lollipop 1 versus 3 has been AWP'd off the server. Both AWPs will survive. HellRaisers managing to get their second, but there is going to be another buy coming up more than likely. 2 players will be relatively low, but they're going to go for Mac 10s, and potentially a Galil or MDS can get the AK if he's going to sacrifice any grenades.
Right, and with the Mac 10, you would expect to see something a little bit more aggressive, whether that be some type of dry hit up a ramp or some type of Palace flood, or maybe even some type of set B piece where you could get the Mac 10 in someone's face at van. There's definitely some situations where you want to see, you know, them just try to get in someone's face with that Mac 10. We're seeing a lot of aggression at middle from HellRaisers, so they're getting some good information about top, middle, and underpass, and they're able to really focus up on what is going to be an A set piece.
Box now pushing through. 1-for-1 trade does open up A site somewhat. No one on the CT side. Unbeknownst to Nemiga for the time being, good counter Molotov. That stops Lollipop's push through on Palace. So these players now isolated, pushed out onto ramp side. Somehow, JR jumps and dances his way into safety with 14 HP, but then decides to peek and protrude around the smoke a little bit prematurely, as does Jalaim. And these are 2 free frags. JR's not going to miss out on those chances with his Galil. Flick out from Kalinka will miss its mark. And now Nemiga should be hot off the back of a bomb plant in a few moments' time. They've actually stalled this plant, and a grenade plus the AWP is going to equal a 2v2. Box Molotov out into position. He's burning alive. Box, you need to move. You're dying there. And now MDS suddenly in a 1v2, and how have they pulled that off? HellRaisers 2v4.
I don't know, man. That was such a scrappy round. I mean, it started off where it looked like Nemiga were getting slowed down because HellRaisers had them pretty figured out, but then Nemiga were still able to kind of brute force their way through to the A site and actually looked like they had an advantage there for a brief moment in time. But yeah, that Molotov frag seemed kind of like the turning point in how things were going to go for the round. And now Nemiga again are on a low buy. They've been on several low buys in a row now at this point, and it's really allowed the HellRaisers to build up a streak of rounds. They've now won 3 in a row to tie up the game. And Nemiga just looking to pistol rush onto this B bomb site, hope that they can overwhelm whoever's defending.
Tech-9s and P250s already have taken quite a little chunk of damage. And Problem finishes off Box. Lollipop, P250 in hand, darts across. It is going to be post-plant, so really that's not too bad, all things considered. And Kalinka, make sure he doesn't overextend, waits for the troops to rally. And rally they shall. Kevlar on both these players with their upgraded pistols. So a headshot into the frag from NDS. He's being tagged. He's whittled away. Just 1 casualty plus a bomb plant. Not too bad, honestly, for both teams. I think Nemiga will be relatively happy with that outcome, but so will HellRaisers.
Yeah, it's one of those things where Nemiga gets the plant for the extra money, and HellRaisers wins the round clean, not having to only rebuy 1 player. So as you said, both teams walk away from that feeling pretty good about how the result went. But now we're going to see the full buying force of Nemiga, which we haven't seen too often yet this half, to be honest. And I hope that means that we're going to be able to see Lollipop and Speed be able to get back on track. As again, they're usually some of the heavy lifters for this team, fragging-wise, so to speak. And Speed will have that AWP in play. Box catching some mid-aggression. Nice to catch that for free to get the quick 5-on-4 and full mid-control now going to Nemiga. That's a bit unfortunate, though. Just kind of went right into Flaric's lap, and he'll give him a pat on the head, but then kind of finish him off at the same time. That didn't come out right. It really didn't. Really don't know where I was going with that.
It's all good. It's all good.
You know, first map jitters, early morning. You know, just give me some time to, you know, stretch out a bit, and we'll get there.
We will, no doubt. Flaric, though, holding into connector, puts it back into a 4v4. Good Molotov put down, but there's the peek from JR, the AWP. Not necessarily a position you expect to see JR pushing into, and that has caught Nemiga well and truly off guard. With that frag now, they're going to look to try and exploit the weakness through connector, and they are making ground. MDS going through, spots the player in shadow, deals with Flaric accordingly. Now Lollipop goes in with one of his own entries. Things shifting very quickly in favor of Nemiga. 2v3 retake, but neither of these players on CT side, they're both coming together through connector, and considering Problem only has $400, if they lose this first confrontation, this likely would be a save, but they may be over-exaggerating this potential clutch and overextending, and that's exactly what's came in. So HellRaisers is going to concede this, and Nemiga will be picking up a fourth.
Yeah, but JR's actually boxed in, Vince. I don't know if he'll actually get away with this AWP. He's getting pushed from behind right now by Lollipop, and unless timing is on his side, which it is, he gets a big kill, and no one else is close enough just yet, but MDS is not too far out, and they actually could wind up pinching him in T-spawn and trying to bring that op down, but they themselves don't have that much money, so chasing probably not the best idea, and indeed they will just kind of settle and let him walk away with the AWP. I think that really just comes down to Nemiga being able to get mid-control so easily and get the opening pick, while they did give one away in connector just afterwards. The key was MDS picking up on that player under balcony. You know, it's always dangerous when you're focus most of your forces on A through connector. You always have to worry about CTs that may have pushed ramp or palace or something along those lines as being a problem, but they picked up on that pretty quick, got some clean entries, and that was pretty much all she wrote. They tied the game back up. They're starting to get their own money back in shape, though both teams are very vulnerable right now. This could be kind of a 2-for-1 deal type round. A very big swing round in the half is now among us, I believe, as it's already a tight race being tied up, and I think this round will really kind of dictate the momentum for the next couple of rounds.
Yeah, it definitely feels like this is a fork in the road kind of moment here, potentially for Nemiga, more so than HellRaisers. But if they can hold on to this, things could start to twist very nicely into position. Box going to be boosting up a teammate into window. There is a smoke put down there, and Jalaim is hiding behind that smoke, and now he has been spotted by MDS, who executes him straight down. Mid-control goes with him, and now Nemiga are going to look to try and turn the knife in the gut of HellRaisers as they start to come back and pick the bomb up. They have options here, Dust. They can pretty much go wherever they so choose.
And it really comes down to the fact that they have consistently been able to establish mid-control. Now they're even getting window boosts to be successful. They're able to control connector very well, very early. And because of that, that gives you so much time to kind of manipulate HellRaisers' rotations, throw some misdirection, and then eventually kind of come together as a team and make a decision and be decisive on what you want to do together. And this time around, it is going to be, again, that A press, which they've been favoring quite a lot. Was that... That was odd.
I think he got confused and thought that his teammate was maybe a terrorist. That's the only thing I could think of.
Luckily, a missed shot took place there, because that could have been a little bit rough on the economy situation, which is already quite grim for HellRaisers. That would have really further put them in the hole. But looks like it will go to Nemiga, 5-4, obviously, and now it's just about HellRaisers saving these weapons at B apartments, which seems like they should be able to do, though MDS is in the area and might be able to pick up one or two.
Nicely done. Doesn't want to overextend. He's done his job. 3 casualties. Going to make this next buy very, very poor if they go for it. And keeping all 5 players alive, obviously, is great news for Nemiga on top of that. So you can see JR 3.1k, Flarich 2,000. Could feasibly drop a couple weapons and make this work, but if they do, it's going to be a very poor buy in terms of utility, you have to feel.
Yeah. Nemiga, very interesting team, by the way. 3 of their players from Belarus. I believe Jo is from Estonia. And Speedak is from Russia, which Speedak is a name that some people might remember from back in the day. He used to play on Dream Eaters, which is a team that kind of made some noise here and there a couple of years back. In the meantime, we're going to see the pace being changed, Vince. It's like a big B rush is going to be coming into play here.
Yeah, but there are 4 players stacked on the side. I mean, this is a very grim prospect pushing into the site. They know 1 player's up on the boxes, but it's 2 kills for Problems USP. But now the superior firepower and aim of Nemiga shines through. It was looking like they were going to get shut down, especially when their first kill went in the direction of the CTs, but JR can do very little. I'm surprised he's even peeking in, honestly. Now, they can't buy again, but imagine if JR has the AWP and he's able to save it. They have a much better buy as a result of that.
Yeah, now they can't even really afford an AWP unless it's glass cannon of some sort for somebody sacrificing armor to pass it. And so, yeah, it will just be imports across the board with, you know, sparse utility, I would say. Meanwhile, Nemiga are sitting pretty right now. They've won the last 3 rounds in a row in their own right. They're starting to get their economy in really good shape. They've been winning these last few rounds pretty dominantly. Like the last one, they only lost 2 players. Round before that, they had a flawless victory. So this is starting to really shape up nicely for Nemiga, which, again, they were the favorites coming into this. They've been the better performing team. They've also been together a lot longer. I think they've been together since, like, January, so they've had several months together as a team, whereas HellRaisers have only been together for maybe a month or so. So do not have that many maps under their belt. Meanwhile, Nemiga here on Mirage, a map that they're very comfortable on, that I think they have like a 12-6 record when they came into the tournament. So also, we haven't even seen HellRaisers play Mirage yet this event. This is their first time on the map for the WePlay Clutch Masters, or Clutch Island, rather.
Yeah, and they kind of discussed it on the desk a little bit about how Mirage maybe is a kind of map that you can pug a little bit better on, but so far we've just seen Nemiga really dictate the pace of the action and put HellRaisers in many awkward positions. They won those 4 rounds in a row, but since then it's been going back in favor of Nemiga. Big trade on Connector. Good news for the T's. Less so for HellRaisers, who are down into just 2 smokes, 1 incendiary and a couple of flashes, but 35 seconds on the timer. And Nemiga have pressed onto A with 10, 15 seconds to go before. I wonder if HellRaisers have read that. Are they going to read too much into it? 25 seconds. JR comes out ahead in that trade. That's not going to help Nemiga's cause whatsoever. And it looks like they're going to have to pretty much back down on the A site anyway. They have no one over on B or in the apps to really pivot from. So they're going to be pushing through pretty much dry. 1 flashbang through. They need this first kill going their way. They're going to line up for Flarich, and that's always the risk. It's always the danger of pushing on the site with low time. There's going to be 1 angle that goes unchecked, and it will spell your demise.
Yeah, again, it kind of comes down to the fact that I feel like on some of these A hits, Nemiga have been so focused on Connector being where the bulk of their forces are coming from that they're kind of missing out on using some of the other angles to kind of split the site multiple directions and cause CTs to scramble a bit more. I'd like to see them have a little bit more presence on A-Ramp and Palace on some of these A splits if that's what they're looking to do, rather than just funneling 3 or 4 players through Connector all the time. And you know, they've gotten away with it a few times where they've caught the player under balcony or caught the player towards A-Ramp or Palace and been able to still make things work, but that's not always going to happen for you. You know, having a little bit more, I guess, just territory to work from makes things a hell of a lot easier, and I'm hoping that's an adjustment that they'll make going forward. This round, of course, they've already suffered a pretty early casualty. They do have some mid-control. They are swinging 1 player back over towards A-Ramp. Bomb actually left behind in the B apartments, but should be collected soon here from Jo. As Spidak and company is still maintaining that mid-control, keeping that smoke always on window, not allowing CTs any information. Looks like they do want to split A again, but this time at least they'll have more presence elsewhere, not just all coming through Connector.
That's true. Shadow goes unchecked until it's too late. Flarich does take damage, but he picks up his 2nd of the round. 3/4 of a minute remain. Kalinka, another big frag for the CTs as Speedak is watching and anticipating a push from window right side. Going to be Molotoving it out, and Kalinka has to cross. He has to move, and Speedak has set that up perfectly. His team still trailed by a player, though, Dust, and it doesn't look like this is going to be on the cards.
I don't even know if he realizes JM was also in window. I don't think he's really known about that. Now he does, but he's lost a teammate along the way to figure that out. He's left them all alone and scrambling as he's low on time. Fleric inside the site will finish things off. And so I think Nemiga had the right idea about how they wanted to split the A site there. I just think that the timing was a little bit off. Like their first player just kind of ran up ramp to sandwich by himself without really any support, utility, or any other players to have trade potential with him. So it just seemed like it was a little bit disjointed. If they could just tidy that up a little bit, I think they'd have a lot more success on some of these splits. I think they're just kind of opening up a window with some of these little misplays that's allowing HellRaisers to have an easier time fending them off and being able to focus up. So with that, they've actually won a couple in a row, tied the game back up, and put the economy of Nemiga in the dumpster.
We're now looking to try and press the aggression back onto Nemiga. They have a PP Bison in the hands of Problem, who's going straight out. Every single one of those bullets is going to be deadly against an armorless Nemiga, and he is going to punish with the one. It's looking like HellRaisers may very well take the lead again. It's been a little while since they last led when they picked up 4 rounds in a row and were 4-3 in the lead. Since then, it's been pretty much the T's map, and not only do they take the round, they don't lose a single point of health. Flawless in every sense of the word, with Jay getting 4 kills to his name.
Do you like the PP Bison, Vince? Are you a PP Bison fan?
Am I a fan of the PP? Is that what we're asking? Yes.
I mean,
no, actually.
Do more carefully.
Memes aside, no, I think it's trash. Even with the changes, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, me neither. It is fun though. It's like a cool meme weapon. If you're just like joking around. But yeah, in a serious competitive sense, I would never want to use it. But hey, some people make it work. So we are going to see Nemiga changing things up and going for just a straight up A set piece off the bat with the typical smokes and flashes, as JM is definitely going to be receiving those flashes and having to fight back. But man, through the smoke, he still finds the opening kill. Nemiga, though, still making some really good progress in this A site right now, getting a couple of big entries.
Yeah, surprisingly a clean take. They have lost MDS on the CT boxes, which at least is going to keep the T's honest. They can't get that bomb planted just yet, but the push through the smoke with Yorp. I love the aggression. I love the idea behind it, but it is going to put Problem into a very awkward position himself now. On the CT boxes, tried to spray through triple box to deny the bomb plant. In doing so, gave his position away. It's going to be an AWP picked up. It's going to be 7-7, all even.
Yeah, I mean, I like the change-up from Nemiga there because they've been so mid-control oriented throughout the bulk of this half, and again, have really been focusing most of their attacks through the connector area. And so for them to finally pull the plug on that and just go for a standard A set piece where, you know, majority of forces are coming up ramp and palace, it just seemed to really do wonders, even with, you know, that one kill through smoke kind of luckily happening for the CT side. The rest really went Nemiga's way. And again, now they're going back to that mid-control focus, that 1-3-1 split. JO trying to put the pressure towards B, and that's always glorious, Vince, when you get that free kill as that B lurk. That just opens everything up for your team.
Oh, it's excellent. The downside is they did lose a player elsewhere, but they still maintain the player advantage. So it's looking like Nemiga can begin and end the half in winning ways, with HellRaisers having more of the mid portion. This would put Nemiga ahead, though, going through onto their CT side. They already have players established on the B site. And JR has been mollied off, but still pushes through there. It's a great cost to his HP, but he's not going to care. He got the kill they're looking for. That spray transfer was so good. It lands into the head of Lollipop, puts him down to 6 HP. And now he's going to take the initiative. Good flashbang. Flaric is going to read peek and gets headshotted down. And now it's the AWP of JR that remains standing. He is very much vulnerable, having to limp across to the side. He's heard an AWP shot ring out, but there's the AK-47. There will be no clutch, and Nemiga will lead going through to the second half.
Oh, man. Guy has boulders between his thighs, running through that Molotov on catwalk for the pick, and I thought he actually was sneaking through market through the window and had a chance, but he did get picked up on, and so another round goes the way of Nemiga. Pretty solid T side, I would say, overall. I think the 3-0 start certainly helped. When it came to gun rounds, actually, HellRaisers put up a hell of a fight there in the beginning, but just towards the end, it seemed like Nemiga made some adjustments and were able to put some rounds on the board. And now we switch sides. A fast A take coming in.
And they're quickly being put into their graves. I mean,
yes.
That is a blink and you'll miss it kind of round. All the USPs connecting with headshots, and Nemiga will be successful in getting both pistol rounds.
Yeah, that was, like you said, one of those just snappy rounds that can sometimes happen when you have a couple of scrappy teams going head-to-head, where, as you said, if you turn away from the screen for just a moment, the round's gone before you. Nemiga come out on top. That is now both pistols having gone their way this map, and they had a 3-0 start off the back of it in the first half, so we'll see if they can do the same in kind here. Likely a free second, as HellRaisers are going to full save here with this block, so this is a easy mop-up round. Easy money collection with the MP9. Double digits now over to the majority Belarusian team. And so the buy-up will be coming here from HellRaisers off the back of that full save. AKs across the board, and even an AWP for JR. Kind of wild to see that, considering they didn't even get a bomb plant in the first round. Very heavy-handed buy.
Yeah, afforded to them by necessity of just going for a full-on eco in the last round. But as you said, 2 MP9s for Nemiga. You'd think that they actually had lost the first round of this half, but that's not the case. They are going to go for an even trade, though. Speedak lays down the law in middle, able to just retreat into connector. There was another kill elsewhere, though. Lollipop was put down in his place. And that's going to keep some attention from the CTs locked in over on A, where there is going to be aggression momentarily. 1-for-1 trade. JO picks up Jalaine, but then instantly traded out from JR. All the J's getting involved, and now JR on 15 HP is going to stay in position on ramp.
Yeah, the only issue is that Speedak has to worry about middle. They have no information what's going on mid, so he has to worry about window boost and connect, which means Box is basically stranded on A by himself with really no support system. And they still have to respect that B is an option for HellRaisers, and this is always the worry of a CT team that has no intel and is playing in an even number situation. You basically have to gamble, and they have gambled now towards A. Speedak playing from ticket.
MP9 frag down onto JR, and our Speedak spins up, takes a second, and Box turns his attention with the AWP to Palace, and it has been a flawless CT side thus far. HellRaisers, hot off the back of a very solid buy, will be eyeing up just pistols and not much else.
Very good pickup there from Nemiga. That could have gotten a little bit dangerous when Speedak was kind of out of place, and Box, could have been overwhelmed at A, but Speedak was able to make a good rotation over to ticket booth and work together to defend against that A attack very nicely. And so HellRaisers will be on the deco, and 1 P250 on JR, who obviously wants to get back onto the AWP as soon as possible, as he has really been the beacon of hope for this HellRaisers team. Again, their top performer, one of the best performers in the tournament so far. So getting him online, I think, is really a key that they need to have success. And I think that's something that was really highlighted by Hawka very accurately on the desk.
HellRaisers looking to have that strength in numbers mentality, and maybe you're trying to ambush middle, but Nemiga won't be extending too far out into the open. They're making sure the crossfires are the priority, which makes a lot of sense in these situations. Box now going to be keeping an eye on window. We'll see the changes towards middle. Could have a couple of interesting effects when it comes to window control.
Yeah, definitely could, if he finds the right time and be able to get a backstab in the market and maybe help a B-split actually work out here, but with no utility, couple players with no armor, it's still gonna be very hard to make this work.
Molotov perfectly planted down. This is going to be a massacre with the MP9. Surprisingly, doesn't actually get too much from that MDS and is finally put in his place. This is a bit more costly than I was anticipating. And now, normal service has resumed. It would seem, or perhaps not. Problem takes that out of the equation with the Deagle headshot. And Box is trying to hold the line with his M4. It's a valiant attempt. It's a 4K for Box. But HellRaisers getting 3 kills from that scenario really wasn't too bad.
No, not at all. I think that's one of those ones where you're breathing a big sigh of relief if you're Nemiga, because you almost let that one slip through your fingers. But they do get the job done. They do go up 12-7. They actually have a flawless half so far. So in both halves, they have had hot starts. The 3-0 start in the first half and the 4-0 start here. So That's the majority of their rounds of just being able to win pistol and control the economy early. Make some smart decisions in those key early rounds. Apparently we got a mouse dead situation, Vince. The El Clasico.
Has he gone and done a Voxic and just smashed his mouse off the desk, maybe? Nope, they're ready. I doubt that's the problem.
Could have just been a wireless mouse battery swap situation. Either way, we're right back into the action. Full buys for both teams. HellRaisers setting up the standard smokes from spawn towards cat and middle, so definitely looking to do some slight mid control, but they really do have that focus over towards the A ramp and Palace. It looks like they really want to run that split play. A couple maybe coming through connector or just kind of posting up towards ladder and window and cutting off rotations, but they really want to strike on this A site. See them lining up the utility.
HellRaisers did show a good account themselves yesterday.
Yeah.
Nemiga had a bit of a slippery slope, obviously losing, not expected necessarily, so they have a point to prove. HellRaisers, though, on this T side have looked a little bit toothless. So let's see if they can maybe switch up the pace and start to take more of an initiative.
Although Toothless was a pretty cute dragon from How to Train Your Dragon, so there's not necessarily anything wrong with being toothless. That reference, I imagine, is lost on you, just completely.
Yes. 1-1 trade, could be 2 for 1, misses the second up shot. That's going to cost Spirak his life, and that left Jo in a very awkward position on jungle, and Lollipop in an even more brutal spot in shadow, just absolutely surrounded by Ts, by adversaries, by foes, and no prisoners going to get taken this time around. So HellRaisers, we asked the question, are they able to take the initiative? Are they able to be a bit more aggressive and a little bit more efficient? And the answer is yes. They're going to get their first T round. Well played. And MDS looking to try and save his M4. There's not too much else that he has, not many other options that he can really go for.
Yeah. HellRaisers holding on till their last breath, Vince. Have a number of fans out there supporting them. Maybe millions, maybe just tens, but maybe just someone in chat might be one of them, Vince.
I'm sure we've got plenty of HellRaisers fans. They've had a bit of a strange go of it lately in the last few years. Yes. I mean, you saw Mr. HellRaisers himself, Angel, was unceremoniously kind of like pieced. Yep. He was there forever, actually. And I feel like in varying parts in his career, he was linked with other teams, but always seemed to stick with them.
Yeah, there's definitely that window where, you know, it looked like people really wanted to see him on Navi take over for Zeus.
Yeah.
Which at the time made a lot of sense because he was a pretty good fragging in-game leader. But that window has long been shut, and I'm not really sure what he's up to these days. But either way, we got an eco kind of going on for Nemiga for the most part, other than the M4 of MDS, and JM just kind of working his way slowly up the A ramp. Does get the entry, but Jo is quick to respond, and he's going to try to upgrade to that AK. There's an Opto kind of watching, and it's JR, but Jo using the Deagle very effectively to push him off of the angle and collect the AK for himself, and that's now 2 rifles on the board for Nemiga in this 4-on-4 situation.
Yeah, really well played by Jo. You were spot on. Just going for those premature, sort of preemptive Deagle shots on towards ramp, knowing that there's a chance that it would be getting watched by that angle, forced him away, gets the AK-47, also funnels them away from ramp. Now, the issue is that Nemiga have bit down too hard on their own success, almost a victim of their own success. Now they've put 2 players on B, and now the bomb is heading towards the A side.
Indeed, HellRaisers just the best and smart in the world, man. Making the right maneuvers, swinging this bomb over to the A side, just kind of picking their way through the Nemiga defense, which, to be fair, was a little bit light. They did make a cool little maneuver to grab an extra rifle over towards A ramp, but other than that, they were low on resources. But, I mean, they're starting to make some noise in this round. Vince, in that lineup, oh my goodness, that's changed everything. That double kill from JL puts JR in so much trouble. This is now completely folded against them.
Yeah, any semblance of a comeback, any semblance of momentum has just been completely taken off the table. That is such a good round from Nemiga. A bit of fortunate timing but you kind of make your own fortune, I would say, in Counter-Strike by decision-making and positioning. Good shot from JR, Box jumping down ramp, but he has been neutralized. They want to take this AWP away from JR. They may very well get a chance to do it as well. Down he goes. Ooh. That is huge, and they pick up the AWP. You could not have asked for a better outcome if you're Nemiga there. That's unreal.
No. Yeah, that's great. That basically forces HellRaisers to use all their funds to get an AWP back in JR's hands. And it puts them in this weird situation where, I mean, yes, they do have the money to full buy here, but if you full buy here and you lose, I mean, Nemiga goes to 14, and then you're playing either force buy to survive the rest of the game, or you're taking a full save and you're playing for OT. So that is a really tough situation that HellRaisers are about to be put in. They need to win this round, and they need to win it clean because their economy is really in the dumps. Meanwhile, Nemiga do have some reserve cash on the bulk of their players. There's only really a couple of guys on that team who are a little bit low on funds. So Nemiga right now are in the driver's seat, man. You know, if they can win this round, they basically can book this game. Big round here. HellRaisers absolutely must come up with.
Oh yeah, the pressure is most certainly on them. I'll be feeling a little bit foolish after that previous round. Take nothing away from Nemiga. They played it so very well. Box is burning alive. He's down to 60. Throwing in the smoke just to keep himself safe. At the very least, aggression will not be the call for the time being for HellRaisers. They're going to be playing this one a little bit more patiently.
And you can understand why. They know what the weight of this round is. They want to be careful not to take too many gambles or give anything away for free early. Some chip damage from utility is really pounded on Problem and Kalinka, though. That is really going to soften them up for later. You are seeing HellRaisers. They do have mid control. They're trying to do the window boost, but I think that someone's hearing all of this right now inside window, and Lollipop is getting forward position over towards the A ramp area, able to re-smoke it as well. So Nemiga's defense is actually pretty well prepared for this. It's all going to come down to the duels. Oh, you missed your chance, Kalinka.
Yeah, he had one shot. It could have been a 1-1 trade. Things could have gone very differently. They may get baited out, though. This may go in the way of MDS. If they don't check this angle, he's going to get the kill, guaranteed. And that puts more pressure on JR. The death in the van was huge. Easy kill from Box. That's the bomb that goes with him. And now Lime, last man, I should say, standing. Trying to take the bomb towards the site. 13 seconds to play with. Gets culled on the cross. And Nemiga have navigated that full buy. And now it's looking that little bit more grim for HellRaisers.
I mean, it really just comes down to that Kalinka spray. You absolutely have to capitalize on that. You basically have the perfect ability to blindside this guy. And just, no. Absolutely didn't. Missed the spray, basically. Don't want to say he lost his team the round, but I think that is the key kill they needed to succeed based on how things were shaping up. And it just did not come to their way. And now they're forced up in this round, and they are getting torn apart. Map point right there on the horizon for Nemiga now as they have the 5-on-3 situation. They're perfectly positioned for the rest of this HellRaisers attack. And there's another to the good 2-on-5 now for HellRaisers, Vince. Looking grim.
Oh, yes. Very much a bleak scenario for HellRaisers. They have JR on problem, but up against the full, healthy Nemiga roster. Galil, AK, bit of utility, couple mollies and a smoke, and time, and control the bombs. There's a few things that maybe you could rest on for a potential, maybe ups the clutch potential for maybe 5% to about 7% or something. That's definitely going to make the odds that little bit better, but now it has somewhat been neutralized. Problem, try as he may, is down to 10 HP, and now all of the CT players are going to be encircling him. They're going to go for the long flank just to secure this round, make sure it comes in. Speedak will get the call that he's weakened. Down he goes, 15, 8, 7 map points.
Yeah, I mean, things could have been a bit different if JR actually picks up that kill in jungle window area, because Problem was actually getting some work done up A ramp, and I think that could have maybe opened the round up for them. But once JR goes down and Problem can be focused upon by 3 CTs who have no other responsibilities ahead of them, it was pretty much easy work there for Nemiga to find themselves map point. And now HellRaisers again forcing up what they can. It's going to be a couple of Mac 10s, a couple of Galils. some utility, and it looks like they want to just go for the B play.
Straight up rushing in for could be the last round. Good flashbangs. The Mach-10 is looking pretty powerful right now. A lot of damage to MDS, who's spinning around, pivoting in for 2. Full on turret mode engaged, and a 3rd kill for him. That should be the end of this map. Lollipop going to be coming in. Additionally, Kalinka moving through on the upstairs. 1 kill to his name, but now he's being mollied out. Headshots, but it's not going to be good enough. 16-8 victory to Nemiga on Mirage, and it looked every bit as comfortable as the desk thought.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they only lost 1 round that entire second half. Again, had the hot starts in both halves as well. Didn't really seem to have any trouble at all through the majority of the game. So definitely tip your hat to Nemiga for playing some great Counter-Strike there on Mirage. But that's enough from you and I, Vince. For now, at least, we're going to pass it over to our expert panel there on the deserted island, which, if you're on a deserted island, I'm not sure how you have internet or cameras or any of those types of things. But, you know, that's not for me, Vince, to answer. I'll leave it to them to talk about.